My coffee here. Look at the backdrop. Beautiful crystal clear water. So nice. Birds singing. Daisy just took a swim. Doesn't get any better than this. Fish swimming. See where it drops off right there? It gets deep. Love this look. This bird sounds so nice. The bird is in one good mood. Hi, hon. Look at the little orange. Beautiful. Oh, look at that cute little bird. Sing, birdie. Love hearing these birds. It's not going to be going on much longer. I didn't upload the video of the bluegills protecting their nest. I'm gonna though. This guy's a good guy over here, works for the state. Takes care of this place, picks up after all these slobs. See all those little circular places? That's where the fish lay their eggs. There's one right there, over her nest. So cool to see even something that you wouldn't. There's another one over her nest. It's kind of cute, protecting their eggs. Look at these little blue wildflowers. Beautiful. Little mini bouquet. I hate to see people fishing here when these fish, there's another one. When these damn poor fish, all they're trying to do is have offspring. Imagine getting distracted like that. Hey, Donna. That's one of my bitches about deer season. You're allowed to hunt animals while they're trying to mate. There's another bluegill over her nest. So nice to see this. Another one right there. They're everywhere. The good news is it looks like Mother Nature, at least with fish producing offspring. Look at that big bass right there. Kind of kills their appetite. So they're not, abandoning their nest because they're hungry. I mean, I could be wrong. That's what it seems like. This is so beautiful that even the boaters think it's too hot. Hear that bird singing? Love you, bird. So yesterday I decided to get a cheeseburger at Tim Hortons, Culver's. And as I'm, you gotta wait, it's cooked to order. I see this older lady screaming, and I couldn't figure out what she was screaming at because I didn't see anything. I thought it was maybe somebody that took off, and she's screaming and she's walking across the parking lot, and I'm watching. So I just get out of my van and walk over, and I realize her dog has gotten loose, and there's a lot of traffic, and this dog is like running away from her at a pretty good clip, and that's super busy there right near Walmart. There's this super cute girl that was just ordering. So I went down further, like to head the dog off the pass, and she went between me and the old lady, older one, and I actually was able to pick this dog up and give it to the lady. It was really sweet. What a sweetheart to step up and do that. So the dog didn't get smashed flatter than a pancake, but it wasn't looking good there for about 3 minutes. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? Yep. So it was a happy ending. God, is it hot? How you? Oh, you meant danger. Beautiful day, it sure is, yeah. You know, I'll tell you another weird thing too. You guys, if you guys keep up with this stupid bullshit, these lives, and you stalk my videos, hey, Sharon, two-ton toothless Tessie in Texas today. Text from Sharon. I don't want you guys contacting me. Seriously, it's no joke. Don't bother. Mondays, we go bye-bye. Come on, hon. Come on, hon. Get out of here. We're going bye-bye. Walk you bye-bye. Come on. You're gonna get run over. Come on, hon. Let's go bye-byes. I'm going bye-bye without you. Atta girl. Hey, Sean, how are you? Did you hear everything I said? I want to make sure this gets out there. I don't want two-ton toothless Tessie from Texas contacting me, which she has not so far. I don't want bulging blue-eyed Roy Orbison from Flint emailing me anymore. Debbie, I could care less what happens to you. I don't wish you any ill will, but I'm not calling you in advance for anything. And Miss Peggy in Chattanooga, I don't care what you think either. Stay away from me. I want nothing to do with you lunatics. Especially you, Sharon. Do not text me anymore. If I gotta upload these texts, I will, just to show how nuts you are. Yeah, yesterday. Yesterday they did. Yeah, they always want to keep this bullshit going. Come on, hon. I'm going bye-bye without you then. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. It's a hell of a good...
Nice today, ain't it?
Too hot.
Oh, Gracie, just right.
Oh, you like it, huh?
I like it hot.
Oh, I'd rather have a foot of snow.
Oh, Jesus, I don't.
Have a good day.
When I die, I'll probably be down where it's warm.
Have a good day.
I hope so. You too now.
Really good guy. Old school. He's like 86 years old. We chat about how the world's gone mad. Oh yeah, Daisy. It's a ball burner today, hon. Your wrench is gone? I think it was gone. Yeah, I'll tell you why it was gone. I mean, because you haven't been around. It wasn't because of anything you did. If you're good, you know, the whole idea of having a wrench is being around and heading off crazies on a chat or deleting negative messages. I'll give it back to you. But, you know, if it doesn't make sense for people to have wrenches if they're not around. Yeah, I'll give it back to you. Hey, that Tool song just worked out perfect with that cloud video. Too hot, way too hot. I think this is the hottest day today. Even boaters aren't out here boating. Super hot. Still on the right side of the grass though. I'm not a hot weather fan. I'd rather it be a blizzard right now. I'd be more excited and I could turn on the heat. Weird, that song is not downloaded very much. You look at Tool's body of work. Yeah, especially those cloud videos. Did you watch the whole video? Yeah, you know, some of their... There'll be a little... So I'm just gonna party. Oh, you did, Sean? Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that, you know, you're never going to find any smoking gun with me. I tell you like it is. I mean, I'm full disclosure. I really am. Oh, there are. Yeah, I don't like those reaction videos either. I think they're like super boring. I like some of these cover bands. There's a Russian outfit, Leonid or something, Leonid. They do Chicago songs. You know, I think the part of my brain's missing with, you know, Oh, 2 minutes straight away. Let me get closer to town. Let me get closer to town. I don't know why it does that. It's cell towers all around here. Just give me like 30 seconds. Hey, mechanic mama. Hey, Linda. Yeah, but it's not bad. I mean, I'm in worse areas and I get good cell phone signals. I don't get it. That's all right. It'll be over in a second here. There's no shade around here. That's the big problem. Not during this time of day, noon. So what I was saying, can you hear me now? I don't want to say any more until I know you're hearing me. I don't want to seem like an old forgetful fool that doesn't remember what he said. But you said it cut out for 2 minutes, so can you hear me now? Okay, good. All right, let me pull in up here. It's even too hot to sit on top of the hill today. No way. I'm gonna go in here because I'm gonna have to check in my lottery ticket, see if I won the Lotto 47. I hope I did. Hey, so what I was saying, you know, these lunatics, you guys know about it. I wasn't even going to bring it up, but, you know, two-ton toothless Tessie in Texas, you know, she's starting crap. The bulging, blue-eyed Roy Orbison from Flint, Miss Piggy in Chattanooga. I didn't hear from Miss Piggy, but this stupid kook in Flint's emailing me, and Nutty Sharon was sending me text yesterday. Hey guys, you can't show anybody a response from me because I never respond to you. You know this. Quit doing it. I don't want any communication from you. And another thing too, like on channels, you know, if you said, well, what do you consider a successful channel? I couldn't really answer that. I think mine's successful because I'm free. I don't care about subscribers. I mean, believe me, I like having interaction with people. And when I see a lot of people coming on the chat or making comments, I like that. I do. But I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary to make it happen. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, that's great. Not because I don't like you or don't want you around, but I'm not jumping through any hoops just for something that's a fun hobby. I tell people to unsubscribe all the time. I block more people than join. If I just let it go wild, rogue style, I'd probably have a lot more subscribers, but believe me, I got my share of enemies, but I'm fine with it. I'm going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing, not change anything. And another thing too, I'm not taking any more donations. I don't want to get to know anybody on YouTube anymore. I don't want to chat back and forth. I don't want any gifts. I don't want any presents for Daisy, nothing. And I think you guys know why. And another thing too, I am getting pretty good money from YouTube now. And an example, there's somebody that you know that I've interviewed quite a few times. I just paid her rent again last night. I'm not going to tell you who it is because it doesn't matter and I don't need to count for things that I do, but I'll tell you this. It came out of YouTube money. I just paid for some other stuff for some people that you know that I've interviewed. No problem. I'm not going to go on and brag that I'm such a good guy and I'm giving this money when the money is given to me by YouTube. I would be fine with giving every single penny I have away from YouTube. No problem. And I'm lucky to be able to do that. Really, I don't think I'm a good guy. I hold off on having any parade for me. I don't think I need a Christmas card. It's just the way it's going to be. I've always been this way. Way before YouTube. So that's how it is. Hey, Simka. Oh, you lucky dog, Craig. Hey, Kevin. Now, about 5 years ago, it was a GoPro wanted to sponsor me. But it was a third-party company that lines these agreements up. And when I kind of got an idea on what it entailed, I wasn't interested. But, my first GoPro I didn't like it. I used it twice and gave it to the neighbor kid. GoPro 9, I absolutely love it. So long story short, they got a hold of me yesterday. And I think GoPro wants to sponsor me again. And this was right from the company. There was no third party. So I'll see what they have to say. I mean, if they come out with a GoPro 10 that's a piece of junk, I'm going to tell people about it. And I don't know if that's a violation of a sponsorship or not. It probably is. So I'll see what strings are attached. And I contacted them outside of that subject matter because I wanted to see if I could buy some GoPro 9s in bulk to give them away as gifts to people that I would consider great contributors to the channel. People that do the right thing, the good thing, Yeah, but I just don't want to, I'm just not, you see these people all the time that make these claims. Mari, I've told you before, don't say where it is, but there are certain things out there that I personally believe are historically relevant, and they need to be documented. You know what I'm talking about, Mary. And I've offered that before, and I have no problem with that because there are finite times in certain circumstances. I'll give you an example. All the photographs I took of the abandoned buildings in Detroit, I knew when I was doing that was a golden period in Detroit. It was, and I'm glad that I did it. And I see, in my opinion, I see other circumstances come up. And if there's a situation where someone doesn't know how to use a camera or can't afford a camera, I'm willing to buy one for you because this needs to be documented. It's no different than having a young child and wanting to document certain important dates, and it's sad if you can't afford a camera, and if you can, I'll buy one for you because this is a big deal. It's the least I can do, and I do it with my GoPro money. No problem. I mean my YouTube money. Well, there's extra things. Now, this is just my opinion. You can get everything. There's a couple extras you need. I'm a full believer in the fastest micro SD card you can buy. Everything you need. The GoPro 9, 2 extra batteries, an extra charger, an underwater case, this micro SD card. Everything, really, when it's all said and done, and if you get the bundle for the first time, about $500. But man, I'll tell you, for what that camera does, like me, I do time-lapse videos. Like today I'm not doing one because I'm getting a little burned out on videos. But that camera will be working home, do time-lapse underwater. Plus they take good photographs. And they just came out with some other lenses. I mean, I usually carry mine around in my pocket. I mean, it's not like a good single lens reflex camera. I mean, how could it be? It's not $2,500. But if you just showed me the data from a GoPro, and said, what do you think a camera like this should go for? When you look at everything it does, I think they should be about $2,000 a piece. I do. I think it's a fantastic piece of equipment. Have a good day, Sean. Yeah, man, you can't beat it, man. The 4K is good. You got time lapse, underwater, night lapse. What the hell more do you want? They are a little glitchy, but so what? They're worth every damn dime. I really enjoy my GoPro. I use it every day. See you, Sean. I'm right by your work. You, Jennifer? Do you live up here, Jennifer? Do you live in West Branch? Yeah, where's she at? Oh, over way, brother. I didn't know she lived in West Branch. Oh, no. I'm from Flat Rock, though. You know that, don't you? I grew up on James Street. Do you have a Tim Hortons in Flat Rock? You know that little donut shop there on Telegraph as you're leaving town on the east side of the road? A preacher used to own that when I lived there. We'd skip school and go there. The cops tried to get us one day skipping school there. We ended up going out the back. And right across the street was Hires Lumber Yard. We used to go in there and steal lumber all the time, make rafts out of it. Yeah, it's crazy. You got a Myers. I had a buddy of mine get killed on a motorcycle there at Reland and Gibraltar. I was just in Flat Rock maybe a month ago. I drove down Cahill Road. When I was in high school, there was a family that lived out there named the Shotwells. Butch was in my grade, and they had ponies, which was just like crazy. We didn't know anybody that had any stuff like that. We'd go out there and ride these ponies bareback. Oh, that's at that mobile home park, isn't it? Deerfield Estates. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember. I never knew anybody that lived there, but I would drive by it. I went to Monroe Community College for a couple years. Did you go to Flat Rock High School, Jennifer? Oh, Lincoln Park. Now, how old are you about? You don't have to give me the exact age. I'm only asking because I want to know if you know any of these places, if you ever got to go to any of them. I spent a lot of time in Lincoln Park. Allen Park. Yeah, you're too young then. You know, Sears, you probably experienced the tail end of Sears. But that was the biggest Sears in the world. Around Christmas, you couldn't find a place to park. Dick's Pet Shop used to go there. You probably never went to Pepinas. You might have, though. You could have caught the tail end of that. The Pepinas. Did you know Mary in the Amethyst Room? Yeah, Dixon Southfield, yep. Harry's Army Surplus. Hey, Burger Boy, how you doing? Yeah, Burger Boy, do you remember Arlen's that was right behind Sears? Go to Arlen's. You remember when you could go in Sears and they had the hot dog place? You had to stand up to eat it at a counter. Yeah, Sanders is really good. Lincoln Park, this is just my opinion, which doesn't mean anything, but that's a perfect example. Lincoln Park and Allen Park. Allen Park kept things nice by having high taxes. So when you bitch about your taxes, consider the level of your lifestyle. If you look at the difference between Lincoln Park and Allen Park, I'll tell you what keeps that happening. Management, which means the city council and the mayor, and high taxes. Lincoln Park really got fleeced by that crook that did that movie producing deal. You know, he's still alive. Hey, Nicole. Those are the good old days. Yeah, I had a lot of fond memories. Remember Amy Joy Donuts down the street? Hungarian Kitchen? The Oyster Bar? I spent a lot of days in that parking lot at the Oyster Bar. My dad was an alcoholic. I spent a ton of time sitting in parking lots because you couldn't bring a kid in the bar. Yeah, I'm glad I grew up downriver, man. It was an excellent example of the good old days with the middle class in America. My parents moved from Connecticut so my dad could get a job at Ford's. And you just had everybody and their brother having double shifts and triple time and great benefits. And it's nothing like that anymore. Oh, okay. I spent that in Orchard Grove. I don't know. Do you still get up around Flat Rock? Do you go up there much? I mean, not Flat Rock, but Huron Township, Romulus. Do you get around those areas? Because if you do, I think they're only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But another bar that I used to spend a lot of time in, Orchard Grove on Middle Belt. It's a Romulus address. Their food is absolutely excellent. Orchard Grove Restaurant. It's right there on Middle Belt, south of the airport. You want to go out and get a good old day's fashion dinner? Excellent. I highly recommend it. Yeah, our Sears closed here is just closed. Just closed here. Yep. Yeah, it's too bad. That goes to show you, but that's like an old person trying to be cool. You see these 50-year-olds, you see somebody like bulging blue eyes, Roy Orbison and Flint. She's still trying to act like she's 16, and it just seems so strange. The point here is you can't keep up with the culture in the age range you were born in. You start to look weird at a certain point. And that same goes for companies. You look at Kmart's and Sears, they just got outrun by newer, sharper, different philosophies. And they're out of business now. It's crazy. If you'd have told me back then that Sears was going to be out of business someday, look at how the big three was brought to their knees. It's actually the small two now. It's not the big three at all. Everybody and their brother's making cars. Yeah, Letha. Yeah. Yeah, Sears used to give a lifetime guarantee. You got a Harbor Freight now. Harbor Freight, that's all junk. Home Depot's got a lot of junk power tools now too. But if you only need to use it 2 or 3 times, I recommend going to Harbor Freight. I like going in there and looking around. Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. Jennifer, go to that Orchard Grove. Check it out. Oh, I did that so long, Joni. I'm not complaining about it. I remember like playing with rocks and stuff. It's funny. I would say that up until I was about probably 13 or 14, that's all I did on Saturday and Sunday because my mom worked at a drugstore. But when I go to that Orchard Grove, I just had my first dinner there in 40 years or 35 years about a month ago. Boy, I'll tell you, that parking lot looks the same to me now. As a kid, your mind's working great. It's not filled up with a bunch of disappointments. But I look at that gravel and those parking blocks, and it looks just like it did when I first started looking at it. And even the bar looked exactly the same, even though the entrance is different. I was lucky. When I was that young, I didn't know any better. I thought it was a little weird. I'll tell you, a lot of my friends were like that too. Their parents weren't alcoholics, but it wasn't like you were going to Disney or Yellowstone for a vacation. The dads were always kind of distant. They never did much with their kids. My whole neighborhood was like that. It's weird. I mean, like everybody. I couldn't give you like one example of like what you would think would be the all-American family. And out where I grew up, it was all like weird. Hey, Debbie and Dave. Yeah, if you need lumber, good lumber, go to a Menards. Go to a Menards. Excellent. Oh, do they, Linda? No, that's how my parents were. My dad, yeah. He did. He was always. One time, he told me to go up in the attic and play up there. That's how crazy he was when he was drunk. He was a functional drunk, so I did. And I ended up stepping through the tiles and falling down to the ceiling and landing in the sink in the kitchen, and my teeth came through the side of my cheek. Another time, I was cooking some marshmallows, and he said, "Well, let me help you." And he tried to like cool it off by waving the stick. You know, stupid shit you do when you're drunk. And that hot mushrooms, marshmallow stuck right in my eye, burned my eyelid and forehead. This stupid, negligent shit. Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't really think that much of it, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I don't even now. It was like, you don't know any better. You're young. They're just crazy. Parents always fighting. Couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. I did too. I got out of there early. Oh, no kidding, Jody. Wow. Yeah, he didn't have a good life either, so he was living on his own since he was 13. His mother got pregnant by a traveling salesman, and the new husband didn't want him. So they told him to just take off, and he did. 13 years old. Times were different. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me that much, though, to tell you the truth. At least I don't think it does. My dad was a real good-looking guy. Looked like George Hamilton. My mom was too. He was a lot older. It's just, if you look at if you presented the upbringing of my mom and dad, it all makes sense. Not in a good way either. Sister was a shotgun wedding. I guarantee you they didn't want me 16 years later, and that was pretty evident. My parents didn't go to they didn't even know I was going to college. Didn't know I was taking flying lessons. I mean, again, I'm not complaining. It's just the way it was. So weird. Yeah, well, I was saying, we used to go over to the Shotwell's house in Flat Rock on Cahill Road, and we'd ride these ponies. No shit, these ponies, we rode them bareback all the time, and these ponies would get like running fast, and they'd just stop and you'd fly off their back. That, or they'd take you over near an electric wire and rub your leg against the fence so you got off them. We didn't wear helmets, none of that stuff. Falling off them all the time. Yeah, it didn't, people will say that stuff, like they dwell on it. It's like, hey, I'm lucky to, it doesn't bother me, to be honest with you. Nothing I was going to do about it. My dad was always encouraging me to steal too. You wouldn't believe the shit that I stole as a teenager. You know who I gave it to resell? My dad. Yeah, Simke, that's how these ponies were over at this place. I want to say they were Shetland ponies, but I don't know if I'm just remembering that from someplace else or they told me that. But yeah, these ponies, they were smart as hell. You'd ride them, but only as long as they'd let you. Smash you against a tree. But I distinctly remember you'd be on one, he'd take off, he'd be running like hell, and he'd just stop, and you'd fly right off the top. Crazy. Well, I'll tell you one thing I do think it had to do with. It made me think I never wanted kids. That family thing just, didn't really happen for me. And getting together at Christmas and giving big hugs, it's like, I don't think so. I mean, there's a certain point, you know. Oh, that's cool, Jody. You know, the thing about life, though, I had some people that were really kind to me. I had some really good neighbors. There was a guy, George Schoen. He used to let me drive his. I think they were adults that realized what was going on, and that's why they did what they did. He used to let me cut his grass on a riding lawnmower, and he'd buy me things and take me to Dairy Queen. The Isabels across the street, great neighbors, really kind to me all the time. Bob McComb was an excellent guy, a super good guy. Bob McComb was just his aunt Lillian lived right next to me. He was a big, huge guy. I'll tell you, if I can disclose this now. I'll tell you what, he was such a kind, good guy, Bob. But anyway, you know, I was an incorrigible kid. I mean, if there was anything devious to do, he could count me in. And we used to go up on the corner of Huron River Drive and James Street and take bags of leaves and set them in the street. And people would see them and they'd slow down, then we'd let them have it with a dozen eggs. And Bob McComb told me one day, he said, "Hey, you don't know who's throwing those eggs up there, do you?" It's like, "Nah, I don't." He said, "I was driving through there the other night and there was something out on the road and I slowed down. One of those eggs came right through the window and it hit me in the side of the jaw." And I thought, oh my God, that was me. Yeah, he was such a good guy, man. I felt bad. It didn't get hurt or anything, but you know, it wasn't a kind gesture. He got me a job at a pallet company, making pallets in Romulus. God, I hated that. Seems like the days never ended. That goes to show you, nobody wore goggles back then. We had these air guns that shot staples, so you could make these pallets. You know, we had this jig set up. We'd pull back that safety and shoot each other in the ass. You'd hear the staples ricocheting off the metal parts in the wall. Just nuts. You'd do that now, like OSHA would shut you down for the next 10 decades. That's what I do, Mary, when things aren't fun anymore. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because that jogs my memory on a issue, and here it is. So if I have relationships with people, right, and I respect you, and it's great that you're around, and uh, all of a sudden I notice that you're still over on a channel that is causing trouble, making false accusations, and for one reason or another, you're always over there. You know, I could err in this, right? And you could argue, well, it's none of your business where I go. I would agree with that. It is none of my business where you go. But I have a private channel with public access. So if I know, if somebody lets me know that you're over on Two-Ton Toothless Tessie's channel, Miss Piggy in Chattanooga, or the Bulging Blue Eyes in Flint, Michigan, and I find out about it, I don't want you around anymore. And I block you. So you can say, well, you know, you're a real asshole for doing that. It's like, okay, maybe. But I'm just saying, I'm upfront about it. I don't want you there. And I get rid of you. And I just did that to a couple people the other night. And here's what inevitably happens. They get pissed. They send me a text or an email, and they say that they're never going over there again. That they rethought this thing. They were torn between which channel it belonged to. And that would I reconsider them. And you know what? I say, no, I won't. Because I shouldn't have to turn that light bulb on for you. If somebody was bad-mouthing Dolly or Faye or Mary or anybody else that I know, the last place you're ever going to see me is on their channel, because either I'm going to say something about it and they're going to kick me off, But I don't want those kind of people around. I don't. It's just the way it's going to be. You're never going to find me doing that. Not happening. Yeah, that's what I say. Who wants a freak? I don't want to do it. I don't want them around. Now, Simca, you're pretty sharp. Mary, you're pretty sharp. Here's one that you never know this for 100% sure, and here's what I'm getting at. You know, Superwoman, I've never met her. We've never communicated via any way, email, text, phone. She's been, over the years, and she's been around a long time, a good moderator. I mean, she's excellent at deciphering bullshit from the truth, and really, I give her an A+ until about 2 weeks ago. And the big clue was, see, I don't think it's the real Superman and that Superwoman, and that's what I want to find out. 2 weeks ago, she thought Bobbles, she came on and posted on one of my videos, she thought Bobbles was good looking. Well, if you're ever going to try and jack my blood pressure up and end our relationship, that's a perfect comment to make. That's number one, but I just thought maybe she's having a bad day. Then, you know, where I put up that video about people getting tattoos with Joe's one, hey, it's a joke. Just fooling around, having fun, right? It's a joke. Never taken seriously. She made a comment, at least under that avatar, that is sick. Like, it would be crazy that I think that I could ask women to do this on a YouTube channel. So I unmodded her, and I blocked her on top of it. But to be honest with you, in my heart of hearts, I don't think that's the real Superwoman. And if anybody out there has any more information, because I'm the last guy that want to get rid of her if that's a fake account. But I don't believe Superwoman would make comments like that, with this exception, that she's a jumbo too, that she's around 350 pounds, and she got offended on my comments about these behemoths that stalk me. And that may have been the final straw with her. She thought, you know, I've done all this for you, and here you're making comments about 2-ton toothless Tessie, bulging blue eyes in Flint, and Miss Piggy in Chattanooga, and I find that offensive, and I don't want to be a moderator on your channel. That would make sense, and I would agree with her. I'm not perfect, but these people aggravate me so much and stalk and slander and libel that I say stuff that I normally wouldn't say. And like I've clarified 2 or 3 times, I'm not against fat people. Heavy set, plump size, plus, whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm getting at. Until there's a romantic interest, and I have zero interest in that. You will not find any dirty magazines under my bed with fat women. Sorry, I'm not going to apologize for it. But if you need a break, if I can help you in any way, I'm not going to cause you any problems. I'm not. That's what I tried to differentiate. And it just seems that all these stalkers lately are all about 3 1/4 behemoths. Yeah. No, I don't think you can do that. You can't do that. You know, that's one weird thing with YouTube. You used to be able to click on the avatar and see all that stuff, but you can't do that on some. And some browsers don't do it, but you know, I don't want to. If it's a fake thing, if one of these stalkers got their way because I blocked her, but she's not around enough, and she usually comes on late at night for me to straighten this out. But if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I just erred on the cautious side because she was starting to leave defensive comments for woolly mammoths. No, it doesn't work on mine. I couldn't do that. Even when I tried to, I would never been able to do that. And even when I would go in, like a lot of times, like you'll get comments that you have a chance to approve or held for review. In the old days, you could click on that and you go right to their channel if they had one. And that's never worked for me. Yeah. Well, you remember, you know who I'm talking about. She had like the Superman logo and it said Superwoman. And honestly, in the avatar, it looked a little big. It looked a little big, like it might not be hers, but people do that to me a lot with the blue-eyed, bulging blue eyes, Roy Orbison look-alike from Flint. I get a lot of fake emails from her. The one she sent me yesterday wasn't fake. This lunatic is upset that I didn't tip her off that the nut job from Indiana was going to come up and smack her around. Honestly, I didn't really think it was going to happen. And if I knew Debbie's life was seriously in danger, I would do something about it. I really would. Begrudgingly, but I would. But just the thought of this nut job from Indiana grabbing her by her hair and slapping her silly like a Three Stooges movie, I just can't stop grinning. Smiling over here. Yeah, that's it, Kevin. It's true. No, I haven't heard that, Pete. I have not heard that. No. Well, it's a hot day today. See these big clouds? I hope we get a big thunderstorm. I really do. Well, see, I don't get any communication from her through YouTube. I'm not like I said, I never got any emails. I never got any. She never makes any comments that I remember. So that's what I'm talking about, the chat. I mean, there should be a better way of you determining who's who, and if there is, I don't know how to do it. The point being is that I hope I blocked and deleted the right account. Oh, it's hotter than a bitch today. I think this is the worst day possible. I mean, you just sit here sweating, even if you're not doing anything. It's like hotter than hell. Hey, speaking of that, I'll tell you what I did last night. I didn't upload it because it's kind of boring, but you know what I did? You know, I've got that clock timer. It's only 21 bucks from China. 120 minutes. That's the one that I made that tool video with. So I put my GoPro on there on time lapse. I wind up, get the 120 minutes of the clock timer. But last night what I did, I took my GoPro, wound up the timer and put it on the end of my Doka pole and stuck it up in the air and let it do its thing for 90 minutes. It's the cheapest security camera you're ever going to have. It worked excellent. It made 2 complete 360s, all the while snapping pictures under low light conditions, 30 feet in the air. Now that's a pretty damn good security system. The only problem is you're only going to get about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but it worked excellent. I just wasn't going to upload it because it's kind of boring, but I was just thinking, man, I wonder if this will work. But if we do have a thunderstorm or lightning storm, you can bet your butt that I'm going to have that clock timer and my GoPro on top of that Doka pole. If the lightning strikes it, it strikes it. But that baby's going to be out there documenting whatever happens. Just can't wait. You know, honestly, I've been chasing thunderstorms for over 2 months. Tell you another thing I'm struggling with. This goes to show you fate, how things happen. I'm still trying to get a train video here in West Branch. I've been trying for 4 months. Just hasn't worked out. I either don't get there quick enough, too late, too early. It's the same thing with the thunderstorm. I stayed extra days in Tupelo, also in Nashville, hoping to get some, in Louisville, hoping to get some real kick-ass rain. Didn't happen. So it's funny. You'd think, well, that shouldn't be any problem. You should be able to get it. It's been a problem. Yeah, Jody, you're a pleasure to have you here. Yeah. Actually, I think you're one of my favorite people to come on here. No trouble, no drama. Actually, I'd make you a moderator if I could. Oh, here we go. Susan too. Susan's been excellent. I don't know who that is. You know, these stalkers, if I don't recognize your number, you're gonna have to leave a voicemail. I just have too many weirdos trying to get a hold of me. Oh, I know it, Karen. Yeah, it's true. Yep. Oh, it's you. I'll call you back when I'm off this chat. Are you going to be around a little bit? I knew that name sounded kind of familiar. I'll call you back when I'm done with this chat. No, that's all right. Now that I know who it is, no problem. I still wouldn't have answered it because I'm on a chat, but I will call you back. I think you were about ready to get scammed, and I want to alert you to it. Oh, good for you, the guy. Cool. Good for you. I'll tell you, the single lens reflex camera companies are in trouble, including Nikon. This mirrorless stuff has really put a dent in their bottom line. Now, I'll tell you, on the mirrorless cameras, the 1-inch sensors, all that, I shouldn't say everybody, but there's been a big decline in single lens reflex camera lenses. You know, everybody's chasing the money for the market. I can tell you this, on the mirrorless cameras, they do better video. But when this is just my opinion, which again doesn't mean shit. I've tried that before. Nikon made a D300. I had both of them. One did video and one didn't. And when you take a regular 35 millimeter camera like you're used to seeing, and you line it up in a rig, and you have a separate monitor, and you've got a microphone, they're a pain in the ass to carry. You basically almost have to have it on a tripod. So even though they get better video, not as good stills, you could get away being a little amateur movie maker, but it is such a pain in the ass. That's why they're dedicated cameras for both. It's just not as good. You're better off with just a quality video camera that you hold like a video camera, that you can handhold, because that rig stuff, even Nikon, Sony's, any of them, Canon, it's a pain in the ass. That's why if you go to YouTube, you'll see so many complete rigs for sale, because they wore themselves out trying to make little movies. They're just tired of dragging this shit around. You gotta hook it all up, and it's a pain in the ass. Yeah. I see lately here they upgraded all the ambulances into these new vans. Yeah, sorry about that, Susan. It just shows you how people, when they don't like you, they'll take the bait on everything. No, we had actually schemed that tattoo thing a couple days ago. And sure enough, it was just like shooting fish in a barrel. These people actually believed it to be true. And it was just another cheap, not time-consuming way to show you how stupid these people are. My dream is to have 100 people on a chat someday, and every single one of them are a moderator. Oh, but you know, getting off topic, I was talking about a successful channel. I don't really know. I couldn't really answer that because I don't use the same criteria everybody else does. I don't know what I think. My channel's successful because I do what I want when I want. I get rid of people I don't like. I delete negative comments. And if I feel like recording my ham sandwich, I do. So to me, that's success. It's not about, believe me, this whole YouTube thing, I love YouTube. My life would be totally different. I'd probably be in a mental institution now without it. That's a good guess. It gives me something to have fun with. I like taking photos and videos, and I have a place to put them. And without that, doesn't mean shit. So I'm grateful for YouTube, believe me. I really like it, but it's a funny, quirky deal. If you offered me $1 million to come up with a viral video, I couldn't do it. I'm as surprised as everybody else on the ones that gets views. Sometimes I'll think, this is really interesting. I think people are really going to like this. I'm not really thinking about all the views I'm going to get, but this is really cool. Doesn't do shit. I don't know any more now than I did when I started. And to see people think that like it's some big deal that you see all these subscribers. It's not. I get like 4,000 subscribers a month and I don't even try. And all I do all day long is block and delete people. So how am I getting 4,000 new subscribers? You tell me. It's a mystery to me. My guess is that the algorithms promote me because they see there's a profit there. That's my guess. And I can put up a bad video or a good video and it's still going to get recommended. That's what I'm thinking. Nothing else makes sense. Because there's channels out there that, just spend a lot of time, quality product, super interesting content, that don't do shit. I mean, when you've got a neurosurgeon giving a 2-hour lecture that didn't get his first paycheck till 36 years old, and he's got 13 views after a video being up 3 years, that ought to tell you what I mean. It's just shit luck. It's like the virtual musical chairs. When the music stopped, I sat down on a chair. It has nothing to do with talent, skill. It's just shit luck. You guys, if you're not old enough, you don't know what shit luck means. You think, well, what is he talking about? Shit luck. Well, I heard it since a kid from my dad. And I even heard school teachers bring it up. Shit luck is just stuff that happens in a positive way with no rational explanation. Human beings, you want to connect something that caused this effect. And with shit luck, you can't. And that's how I describe my channel. Shit luck. Okay, Mechanic Mama, good luck. Timing is everything. Yeah, I agree. And like the videos that ended up going viral, I'm not even sure what it is. I know it's a lot of views, but I don't know if there's a number or not. Those videos sat around for a long time. And nobody watched them. And honestly, what got things going was somebody took that penny video and they posted it on Reddit. And then after that, it was just one good thing after another. Here's the other side of the coin. I mean, I get more and more money every month from YouTube, which I'm happy to give it all away. But if I'll say, well, views don't matter, subscribers don't matter. Yeah, well, I guess they do in a way, in that I'm able to take this money and do what I want to do. I think everybody that comes on the chat, if they had free money given to them and they had an opportunity to help someone, they do it. So it isn't my money, it's money I get through having fun. Yeah, where is Shannon Wright? Is she on here? I never saw her. Oh, here she is. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, good. Thank you for bringing that up. Yep. Oh, yeah. You're going to think this is crazy, but I mean, now that I see the avatar, I know who you're talking about, but I couldn't figure out who Shannon Wright was. I thought, but that's kind of weird. She's not, coming on here. But sorry about that, Shannon. I just didn't link that name with your avatar. Thanks for sticking up. Thanks for sticking up for me. How you doing?
Good.
Hot enough for you?
Yeah.
Sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Sully. Pat Jody, don't let it bother you. I'm telling you, I'm 100% believer in this. It's gene expression. There's nothing you could have done about it. It has nothing to do with your parenting skills. It's hard to believe because that you gave birth to this person that you're not responsible for this behavior, but you're not. I am 100% believer in this. I've seen too many examples. If you never heard me talk about this before, let me give you an example. Back in the winter, I go down to Linwood, seeing how the lake's doing. Get talking to a guy, a really good guy. We're talking about fish and walleye being predators, blah, blah, blah. And he starts to tell me his son's has a PhD, works for the U.S. Fish and Game, and he told me some really interesting stories about lamprey eel projects and these huge hybrid trout they found in these backwoods rivers in Montana that they never knew existed. Stuff like that. We talked. And I said to him, God, you really ought to feel really good about that because you did an excellent job parenting, and that's every parent's dream. This kid ends up getting a PhD, he's got a good job, he's telling interesting stories. Congratulations to you. I said, you're lucky. I don't know if you've read much about gene expression. You can have the same DNA and you never know what track it's going to take, but you're lucky you didn't have a serial killer. He said, oh, I got one of those too. He said he's 36 years old and he lives in our basement. And he hasn't killed anybody yet, but my wife and I both think he's gonna. We keep our eye on him 24/7. He said he doesn't have any friends, he doesn't date, he just plays video games, he's very violent, and he's always reading about guns. And we keep our fingers crossed all day long. And that kid is from my wife and I, just like our other son. And he had the exact same upbringing. So there you go. Jody, you may not have the luxury of having another child under the same circumstances. There could be different men involved, different neighborhoods they grew up in. You could have had your own problems at a time. But the point here is, I can give you more examples than you'd want. That isn't your fault. Not at all. That's true, but it's mainly, I think it's mainly gene expression. There are a lot, I'll give you here's an example. For some reason, Scandinavian countries seem to have done more research on this. But research gene expression with regard to identical twins. And that just basically summarizes what the example that I just gave you. There are good studies out there on identical twins. That's the same DNA, exactly the same. And one turning in to be a bank robber and the other one running a continent for Red Cross. It's crazy. It's the only thing that explains it all. I think it's both. I think it's both. But I generally think it's gene expression. How these, it's just like having big ears or a big nose or big tits. You can have like a big dysfunction in the way you think. It's all chemicals. And for some reason, this takes off and proliferates in one brain where it didn't in another. With the exact same DNA, that's the odd thing. And the exact same parenting. We've got identical twins here. But there's good studies in Europe on one kid turning out to be a serial killer and the other one running the local hospice. Same everything. Luck is a part of it. I mean, look, you still have probabilities. You'll still take probabilities. Let me give you an example. I know the Jewish thing. We've talked about this, Simca. If you grew up in New York City as a Jewish kid, and you've got educated Jewish parents, I'm talking about you take 1,000 kids like that, and you take 1,000 kids from the Appalachians in Kentucky, and you're going to see a vast difference in what you consider success. So like Jerry Springer tells people, Jerry Springer's a good guy, by the way. I met him more than once in Chicago. Anybody that knows him outside of that crazy show loves him. He's a super good guy. It matters who you're born to. So life isn't fair. Genes matter. Even in the 5th century, they were writing about the high intellect of Jewish people. So, if you're born Bobby Fischer, you don't see any world chess champs coming out of Southeast Kentucky. Is it impossible? No. Is it unlikely? Yes. And it all comes down to quantifiable facets of life that everyone's aware of. Yeah, Nicole. Yeah, it's true. There are so many, and I'll tell you this, you look back at my high school, other than Carolyn Myers, who was our valedictorian, she ended up going to MIT, which is crazy. I mean, because she certainly wasn't prepared. That's a sign of a real smart person, is they can come from a school that in no way prepared them for a academic institution like MIT. She ended up getting a PhD, ended up going to work for some metallurgy deal out in East, got exposed to some toxic chemicals and has been on disability for the last 30 years. So the person that dropped out in the 11th grade that's still flipping hamburgers and happy as hell, not on any medication. They didn't get good grades, but they have great health. They couldn't have got into MIT. It's funny how life works out for some people. But most of the people that got good grades in my high school, depending on how you define it, they didn't do shit in real life. Being on the honor roll didn't mean a damn thing. Now, if I had a kid pop up today, would I want him to be on the honor roll? You better believe I would. All you can do is line up the cards as good as you can. Sounds like a vibrator. Yeah, I think that too, Bugman. I think that too myself. You go through a fast food. It happened to me last night when I got that hamburger for Daisy at McDonald's. Just a friendly girl. She said, I've been working here over 3 years. Just happy as hell to have a job at McDonald's. Good mood. Talkative. You know, where me, I'd be in there playing Russian roulette at lunch because I had this shit fast food job. And I'd been stuck here for over 3 years. I mean, I'm a half full guy. I mean, a half empty guy. She's a half full person. And once again, gene expression. Yeah. Thanks for sticking up for me, Shannon. Appreciate it. You freed yourself from toothless two-ton Tessie in Texas. Yeah, it's really, you know, there's no one way to do this. There's no, look at the McDonald's umbrella just flew up in the air. They better go get that before it's in a million pieces. Have a good day. Have a good day. I'm talking to my girlfriend. Yeah, I'm a pessimist too. I am too. But you know, don't think that's all bad, because without a protagonist in a novel, it's one boring read. I was really tight with a Catholic priest that died of lung cancer 10 years ago this spring. He was a really good guy. He was a pessimist if you really knew him. If he was your the priest of your diocese, what do you call that? Diocese. You wouldn't have known it. But he always talked about that as well, that you need conflict. You need demonstrations. It's what makes us what we are. I'm not saying you need letter bombs and Molotov cocktails, but that's what makes things the way they are. Yeah, health is definitely important. Definitely, sure. Which is why I don't ride a motorcycle. I'd have a hard time doing these chats with half my face missing. Yeah, it is, Sally. Sure is, yep. Yeah, life's a tough one, man. It just like, you know, the chicken or the egg. I could perseverate on that for the next 3 days. You could go to a psychiatrist. You're not going to get some things just can't be answered. I mean, my relationship with psychiatrists has been sketchy. Half these guys I thought were really fucking stupid, to be honest with you. The other quarter weren't listening. I'd say there's about 2% that might have done me some good. And that wasn't because of the medication they prescribed. It was because of their intellect and the way that they could spell out things to me that I wasn't capable of deciphering on my own. But just because they were medical doctors and psychiatrists, that wasn't like a slam dunk of translating into help. Are you guys familiar with the Rorschach ink blotch test that the psychiatrists used to give people like years ago? And what they would do, they give you these stack of cards, and they'd hand them to you, and then they'd want you to verbalize to them how you interpreted them. And here it is. So a psychiatrist hands this stack of cards to somebody. He says, Tom, I'd like you to look through these cards and tell me what they mean to you. It's like, okay. And it's like, well, he hands me the first card. What's this? I said, that's a couple 69ing. I said, okay. He said, what's the next one? I said, that's a girl giving a guy a blowjob in the woods. He said, okay. He said, what's the third one? He said, that's somebody doing it doggy style. He said, Tom, you really seem to have an aberration with sex. I said, me? You're the stack of dirty. You're the guy with the stack of dirty pictures. See what I mean? And that kind of makes a lot of sense in a lot of applications in life. He thinks I'm turning everything into sex. I think he's the one that presented me with a stack of dirty images. And that's how life is in so many ways. So it's the old $50,000 question. It's who you're asking. Just like when I see answers to questions, I want to see the question. I don't want to just see the answers, because that's the way you manipulate results. Yeah, it really is. So, I mean, there's so many things like that. I mean, you can make the outcome of any study whatever it is you want by the way you set it up. My doctor buddy tells me in a lot of these medical studies, when they don't get the results they want, they just start another study until they do. And that's no shit. So it's even happening on a high level of science. Yeah, double blind. That's exactly right. But even double blind studies. I mean, that's why if you look at double blind studies with psychiatric medications, psychotropic medications, where the doctor doesn't know what he's giving and the patient doesn't know what he's taking, this is out there. Research it. Google it. That the placebo outdoes the real McCoy. That's not a good medication. Hey, and by the way, I'm glad you said that, because it jogged my memory. For years now, what Google has done, people lie when they go to their doctor. The people that are having sex say they don't. The people that are not having it say they do. You can't depend on what's presented during the exam as a physician sometimes. I'm sure there are people out there that do tell the truth, but a lot of people don't. So this is what Google has been doing for quite a while now, and I give them an A+ for this. I don't love everything about Google, but there's some things they do that are very helpful. What they've done is like digital advertising. If you're searching double dildos tonight, Google doesn't really know who you are. What happens is they know from that IP and MAC address what you searched. They strip your identifying information away, if there is any, and then they sell it to advertisers. That's why when you get up tomorrow morning and double dildos are on sale, you're going to think, wow, that's crazy. I guess they knew I was looking at double dildos. Yeah, they do. And that's how they make all their money. They strip away the identifying deal, and they sell it to people that are making double dildos. It makes sense, right? But what Google's done, and they're doing this on their own volition and funding the entire project, is they have taken all the medications that people are taking and Googling to see if there's a conflict. Like there's some medications, you're not supposed to drink grapefruit juice when you take a lot of medications, right? So they take all this, tons of data on what people are Googling to see if this medication's going to hurt them. You can't test every medication with everything. They take all that data, they crunch the numbers, and they provide it to the drug manufacturers. It's like, even though patients have presented saying this to doctors, here's what people are Googling. So they're worried about what they're taking. They obviously don't want to tell their physician, so they're doing it on themselves. They're providing these search engine requests from Joe Blow and letting them come up with more definitive guides to pharmacists to be able to caution people about the perils of certain drug combinations. And I think that's really cool of them to do, because there's no money in it. I think it's interesting. Yeah, it's possible, Nicole. Nicola. Yeah, I'm sure visualizing muscles helps, but nothing works like steroids, that's for sure. That stuff works. I mean, there's a consequence, but it works. Bodybuilding's really seemed to have kind of died out. Yeah, it's pretty good, Sully. Yeah, yep. And I say all the time too, people say, natural. I'm going to go natural. All the people that get older and go natural, you know where most of them are? They're dead. People live longer now than they ever have because of medications. Don't shit yourself. Hey, M&J, I'm not saying you should go out and, use toxic substances. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But medications keep more people alive than anything else. If we depended on holistic medicine and natural during this COVID virus, we wouldn't have the housing crisis we have now, because 60% of the population would be dead. Holistic for COVID. You get one of these whole wheat thumpers that come around and you want to shut them up, just ask them if they didn't wear a mask and they skipped the shot, and if they just went whenever they wanted without protection. That shuts them up. Same with cancer. This holistic treatment for cancer, forget it. I'm not saying medications don't have their consequences, but if you think you're gonna, wheatgrass your way out of this, you're dreaming. Yep. I mean, I don't mind a supplement here or there. You don't have to lock it. You're in West Branch.
Okay. Famous last word,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Nobody locks their doors here. These people must be from out of town. She said, don't forget to lock the car. It's too hot. Too hot. They're trying to hang a new Tim Hortons sign over there. Better get a glass of water.
Yeah, no kidding, it's hot.
Yeah, I just heard a seagull. They used to be all around here. Oh, they're sitting on top of the Burger King sign. That manager over there I'm friends with the people that own this Tim Hortons, but I can't stand some of the people that work for them. One of them is that lady over there putting up that sign. I mean, she shouldn't be managing anything anywhere, but that's the state of affairs now. The owners are great, but they're kind of stuck with any beating heart. I mean, if you got a pulse, you're hired. If you don't have a drug problem on top of a pulse, you're management material. It's just the way it is nowadays. Yeah, she does, doesn't she, Susan? Yeah, I haven't looked at that Google Scholar in a while. You're right. That's the thing. I mean, Mary and I have great discussions when I come up there, and she walks up these giant inclines like it ain't shit, and I'm wondering if she's going to have to call 911 for me, because she is academically oriented. She believes in science. If she says something, she can quote a study. A big difference. It's like night and day. Same with Simca. Same with Dolly. Same with Faye. I mean, big difference. These are just differences. Like the difference between the people I just mentioned and the people that I've blocked, abandoned, and the ones that try to badmouth my channel. I mean, can you imagine going to Miss Piggy, Two-Ton Toothless Tessie in Texas, or Bulging Eye Roy Orbison in Flint for medical advice? Do you think they'd have any idea how to quote a study? They wouldn't, which is why I don't have anything to do with them. It's not just that. It seems that a lot of these hostile people, besides being uneducated and like super stupid, they got a real mean streak. And the only remnant of a chance for them to get any attention at all is to by mentioning something that they really don't have a connection to. They're just limited. They can't create content on their own, so they have to critique someone else's. They're very limited individuals. Really super stupid. I bet if you looked at the academic achievements of all three of them put together, it would be in the tank. I mean, really low. Not only uneducated, but really super stupid. Well, don't let them scare you, because that's the beauty of it all. They're too dumb to get away with anything. They don't have the intellect to outwit the police. It's like First 48. You know, I know these guys do bad shit, but when I watch some of these guys that these cops get in these little rooms, on one hand that I'm glad that they're catching them, on the other hand I just in a way feel sorry for them, because they're just so fucking stupid. They're never going to get away with anything. Another type of Karen, that's right. That's exactly it. And, you know, Frankenstein is, you know, I wish I'd have paid more attention to that when I was younger. But that applies to life in such a big way. Frankenstein, absolutely right, man. The guy that thought that up is an absolute genius. I put Frankenstein right up there with a story that's told in the Bible. As far as putting together content, it isn't lacking a thing. You couldn't rewrite the Bible, or you couldn't rewrite Frankenstein and do a better job. And that doesn't happen very often. Right, James? Look, medication isn't perfect, right? But by and large, are you talking about the baby powder bullshit? I'm going to take that Johnson & Johnson shot as I could get it. Look, medication reacts different ways with people. And a lot of times a settlement is a way to put things behind you. Look at the interview that they did with Gaddafi during the Lockerbie airline bombing. Like him or not, he was a bright guy. And his rebuttal to why he settled when he didn't claim Libya was responsible for that is just exquisite. It's excellent. He sums up settlements perfectly. Whether you're guilty or not, settlements are a way to put negative publicity behind you, which in a big company affect your stock. Johnson & Johnson isn't perfect, but I can tell you this, they've done a hell of a lot more good than they've done bad. Settlements don't necessarily make you a bad place. It's a mechanism in this culture with litigation that makes sense, irregardless of culpability. Yeah, but you could say what you want about Gaddafi, but you look at what happened to Libya after they killed him. It's been going downhill ever since. He wasn't all bad. You look at what happened to that place after they took his life over stupid ass reasons. It's been steadily getting worse. You can't compare places like Libya and North Korea to the United States. It's apples and oranges. It's a different environment. Look at Saddam Hussein. If they could turn back the hands of time, they'd realize what a mistake that they made in killing him. He's the only lunatic out there that could keep these Arabs in check, and they were scared to death of him. And look what happened after they killed him. The wheels came off. Don't compare these Muslim countries to the United States. It's not going to work. It's like comparing a Volkswagen to a Ferrari. It's not the same playing field. I wouldn't put Hitler in the same category as I would put Hussein or Gaddafi. No way. He was way worse. Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at look. There are some people that I've interviewed that are way smarter than any of us. Certainly me. I mean, don't think that your IQ has to be low to be a drug addicted prostitute. It doesn't. And there are people that I've met through through YouTube that were ex-working girls, and some that I still keep in contact, and they're some of the best acquaintances I've ever had. I am proud. I would put it in my top 10 of my life to maintain a communication with Tassie. She's my poster child, my gold example. I really love Tassie. The notion that that girl would still be alive and that I'd just be fimbly fucking around down on 4th Street when Detroit was at its worst, and that we're still in communication, to me means everything. It made it all worthwhile. If there was not one other success story than Tassie, the notion that I'm on a first name basis with her, keep in touch with her, means everything to me. It made it all worthwhile. Absolutely did. Tassie's as straight and upfront as you can ask for. Doesn't get any better than that. She has to have like a super street intellect to be alive. She's never a Karen. She's never a Debbie Downer. I mean, if you asked me for a suggestion of a national symbol, it would be a bust of Tassie. People think I'm crazy, but when you look at resilience and the ability to keep your head above water and keep on trucking, there's not a higher standard out there. No way. And even Becky, yeah, I know she's not perfect, but I'm telling you, I don't know anybody that would still be alive under those circumstances. She is a goddamn Green Beret of the streets. Big time she does. Works like a damn slave. At one time she came on, just got done peeling 800 pounds of potatoes. That says it all right there. Never bitches. And she's doing well. I mean, she's having little struggles here and there, but Tassie is an absolute trooper. Yeah, addicts. I've said all the time, you need to take Tassie, Becky, who else would I do? I would have taken Angel, and you need to can everybody in the upper cabinet levels of national security, and you need to appoint them there because you're not bullshitting any of them. They have to make a judgment in about 2 seconds whether a guy just wants a blowjob or he wants to take him out and chop him up into little pieces, and that's a real gift. It's just like I talked to you about the observational skills of wildlife. You see a little innocent deer and he's just out there looking, you think, isn't he sweet? You know, he doesn't hurt anybody. Yeah, I would agree with all that. But he's also a supercomputer. He's got parts of his brain that are working that yours never were turned on. This son of a bitch is analyzing everything, the noise, what's around, the clouds, the heat, what's under his feet, how far he's away from hiding in the woods. Supercomputer. These working girls are excellent. Excellent people at judging character. Yeah, Tassie is like a gold standard. You think Tassie, if I had an argument with Tassie, you think she's going to start a hate channel? No. Tassie is so far above most of these people that I've crossed paths with. Oh, she's my gold standard. You notice Tassie doesn't have people hassling her like other people do. It's because even the biggest asshole in the world realizes she's got a lot of good qualities. Oh, is it hot? Are you kidding me? Super hot. I'm gonna drop Daisy off. Yeah. It's. I think it's probably. I bet it's 85 degrees and 90% humidity, something like that. Yeah, Tassie, man. I mean, she was out there, 14, 15-year-olds. Go ahead and Google it. There's a famous photographer, Dave Giordano, who, according to Tassie, is a pretty good guy. He was paying her decent. But there's pictures of Tassie as a young teenager, working girl in Detroit. Go Google it. Tassie Mann, M-A-N-N, Dave Giordano, J-O-R-D-A-N-O. I mean, he was a good guy, but on the same token, it kind of really, I could get tears in my eyes looking at those images. That was, 15, 18 years ago, and that's sad to me. So all I got to do, if I ever had any doubts that I made the right decision, is look back where she was when she was just a young girl that should have been enjoying life and taking trips to Cedar Point. Instead, she was out working the streets with all these perverts. Yeah, that's how it is here too. Nobody's even fishing today, it's so hot. Yeah, the humidity is what finishes you off, your inability to cool. But that won't keep me from seeing some dumbass out here jogging. Do you know how hard it is on a mammal to run and exert themselves in heat? That's why I said, you see any birds flying today? You see any dogs running? Hell no. Because they have evolved to survive. And they're smart enough not to expend the energy and heat themselves up. Humans are the ones that are out here having heat strokes. Go on, hon. Get up there, honey. Go on. Jump. Go on, baby. Go on. And get up there. See, Daisy isn't dry yet, and she's been out of the water over an hour. It's that humidity. Nothing's drying today. Yeah, Tassie's mother died of a heroin overdose. And the lady that she refers to as her mother is really her sister. That lady ought to write a book too. I mean, I don't think, trying to help Tassie has always been easy. So her sister, to me, deserves a damn gold award. She's done what she could. Let's see, gas, $2.96. Yeah, everybody was right. Gas is $3 a gallon, just like they said it'd be. I don't really care that much. I mean, I'd rather it be $2 than $1. But if you're a struggling person or a family and you're living from paycheck to paycheck, having gas go up a third more is a big deal. If you're just breaking even every month and you're driving to work 30 miles each day, it's significant. I mean, I feel bad for those people. I mean, if gas went up to $10 a gallon, I could just quit driving. If you got a job 30 miles away, you can't. Those are the people that really get bent over. Daisy's going to get bent over if she pee-pees on the floor like she did 2 nights ago. I'm going to warm her butt. I gotta take a photo the next time I confront Daisy about pee-peeing on the floor. It's priceless. I say animals don't have facial expressions. I'm wrong. You ought to see Daisy's face when I confront her about pee-peeing on the floor. Tampa, go over to Byrne Steakhouse. Get a good steak. It doesn't happen very often. No, I never watched any of that. No, I never did. I am gonna get my GoPro out. Look at these clouds. I brought it up to you, Mary, last night. All the people that go over, they see my camera out in the field there, and they go look at it. They want to see what it is. I'm in Florida. Look at the clouds. I'm in Melbourne, Florida. That's true, Jody. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Yep, follow the money. That's no kidding. That's the truth. Follow the money. Yep. That's easy to do if you know what to look for. Hey, how you doing? How's it going, John? Look at these beautiful clouds. I'm definitely getting my GoPro out. So it's just, you know, these time lapse, like I told you, I don't do shit. I just push the button. I mean, a monkey can take just as good ones. But man, they sure, for no effort and just pushing a button, you can't get a bigger bang for your buck on beauty. See my little garbage can out there? You can't get a bigger buck. Nope. Party time is right. Yeah, beautiful clouds. I'm gonna get my GoPro going. Here's my neighbor here, just came home for lunch. You know how you get a vibe when somebody, they'll say hi, but deep down, you know, they don't like you. I think that's how it is with this guy. None of the other neighbors, but there's a perfect example. He just pulled up, he sees me here, just goes right in, doesn't say hi. Yeah, I live in Michigan. Yep, here right now. Yep. But I think that guy'd push me off the side of the Grand Canyon if he could. He'll never admit that, but you just get that vibe, you know. See, they're using their Jake brake. Hear that truck? That's actually an ordinance against that, and they never enforce it. I don't care that much because I don't sleep midnights. But if I was sleeping midnights, it would be pissing me off because they're not supposed to be doing it. Yeah, that's the vibe. It's definitely for sure. I mean, I don't really care, but it's pretty obvious. Yeah, these are great. Actually, the clouds aren't that good around, man. Maybe I won't do it. Come on, hon. You go in there and party, honey. You go in there and party, hon. Yeah, be right back. Yeah, he could. He could just think I'm a fucking dick. I mean, it's not to say that that's not some validity to that. I mean, believe me, I have my share of enemies. It's all right. I can handle it. I mean, but we're not going to be hanging out. I can tell you that. I mean, for all we know, one of the stalkers got a hold of him and convinced him that, you know, I'm going to be charged with kitty porn any day now, and that they're just giving him a courtesy call. They've done that shit to me around here before. Yeah, I don't like eye contact. That's right. See, now my personality is my natural, no holds barred personality is to just confront him about it. It's like, hey man, you got a problem with me, you know? And then when he says no, just really turn up the second burner. But as I'm mellowing, as I'm getting older. Oh, people do it. Yeah, they sure do. Better believe it. I just can't imagine that some people would be that mad at me over like a YouTube channel. It's just so weird. I mean, even Two-Ton Toothless Tessie from Texas, it's really kind of a surprise. But all these crazies, from the Scam and Olive Oil in Inkster, Michigan, to Two-Ton Toothless Tessie, to Bulging Blue Eyes from Flint, and Miss Piggy in Chattanooga. They go out of their way to like bring my name up all the time. It's so weird. No, I don't want to hang around with the guy. I mean, you know, forget it. I don't want to get to know him any better. You know, you always, you know, if you get a chance, so you give him a zinger here and now. And I did that the other day, but you know, deep down, if you don't get good vibes from someone, I kind of like to fuck with them and jerk their chain a little bit. Let me give you an example. You know, we've got all new people now. We've got like the president of the condo board. I hate all that stuff, right? So he's doing something there. I'm not exactly sure what. And if you've looked at the front of the condo, we've got a lawn service company. And the bushes have grown up completely over one of the windows. That's not my idea of a maintenance company. So I saw him about a week ago and I said, hey, you're you know, in some kind of capacity the maintenance people, aren't you? He said, yeah, I am. I said, well, you know, I don't think the bushes are supposed to grow up over the windows where you can't see out them anymore. And he looks over at the window. He said, oh yeah. He said, yep. He said, well, let me call Kathy. Well, Kathy doesn't even live here anymore. She's the old lady that really kind of ruled the place with an iron fist. Now, why would you need to call anyone when you just looked at a window that you can't see out of because a bush is covering it, because it hasn't been trimmed in over a year and a half? See my point? Free gas ahead, you're not kidding. I bet that's not gas. It could be, but most of these guys don't drive in the daytime that I know of. Yeah, power over a bush, yeah, right. No, I don't care that much. I even offered to trim all the bushes in front of all 8 units. Of course, you know, if Simca, if I was down in your neighborhood and for whatever reason this didn't occur to you, you were busy, your Playgirl magazine didn't show up, and you realized that happened, and I said, you know, I'll cut all the bushes down. I'll trim them. I'll go get a hedge clipper and do it. I'll just for the sake of, being a good neighbor? I'm sure you'd say, yeah, but this guy didn't take me up on it. That would just be too much of an acknowledgement that I was right. So you see the dynamics here with this relationship? I gotta leave these windows down. I hope you can still hear me. Hey, Colleen. No, I know you wouldn't, but I think if I offered to do it and it would made things better, you would be fine with it. See, so this is the dynamics of this relationship is things are never going to get better with this kind of dynamic, and that's a perfect example. Which I don't care really that much. There's a male cardinal in there. He's got to be setting some kind of sex record for producing offspring. And I see him hanging out in that part that's of the bush that's covering the window. So it's not all bad. Once again, silver lining. Silver lining. There's a silver lining to everything. Yeah, loud and clear. Yeah, thank you. Exactly right, subtleties. I know for sure that if Mary, Simca, and me got together, it would be so much idle bullshit. Wouldn't need to be mentioned because it was obvious, and it wouldn't need to be spelled out. It'd just be a good social interaction. What would take an hour and a half meeting amongst idiots would take 5 minutes with them. They would understand things. You wouldn't need to go over things. That kind of thing. It's fun. It's like a vacation when you're around half-ass intelligent people. That's as good of a compliment as I can give. Sorry. Including me. Yeah, Colleen, don't put up with that shit. Colleen, I gotta admit, I think you're on the radar as a little suspicious yourself. You made some pretty strange comments. Actually, you got blocked just before I unbanned everybody. So you better be on your good behavior. Okay, get rid of her then. Get rid of her then. Get rid of her then, Shannon. That'll be I believe that. Show Shannon how to get rid of Colleen. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I thought so too. See ya, Colleen. Hit the refresh button. Sorry for any technical difficulties. Oh, you're all right, Michelle. Now it'll buffer a couple times, but it should get better. Yeah, she deserved it. Hey, Cheryl, make another comment. Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't do much. He's made a couple shitty comments. I think it could be that loser Nick in Detroit. I'm not positive. She did a lot wrong. You name it. Hey, Peaches. Hey, Penny. Oh, good, Cheryl. Let them have it. Fire first and ask questions later. You're giving her too much credit. Mary, you ended your question with the preposition. You should say where you're going to get your tattoos. No at the end of it. No at. Distracted driving. Distracted driving. Distracted driving. All right, as long as you're aware of it. With knowledge comes accountability. Yeah, cult of personality. Right on. That was a great song. Living Color. That's a good song. It was their only good song. I'm going down to Standish. See, it's a little cooler down here. See the change in the clouds? No, just the town. That's a good idea, Sully. I like that. Yes, Tim, I am. Yep, I am. I just want some brainless fun in an air conditioning environment where I just push a button. Hey, BJ. Did you check that Harrington rod surgery out? That's how it is here, Michelle. Yeah. Microwave's cooler. Going to Native American Casino. We deliver. Whatever they call it, I don't know what they call it. It's in Standish. It's part of the Saguening Eagles. Saguening Landing, Saguening something. Chippewa tribe. Play Redbone, Come and Get Your Love on my phone while I play. And a Witch Queen from New Orleans. Yeah, Soaring Eagle, that's it. Yep, Soaring Eagle. Yep. Yeah, I love Redbone too. They're all dead now. Yeah, how do I do that, Sully? How do I do that? Oh, the sag shed. That's a good way of referring to them. Check that out then. I checked it out one time and it looked like speeds were too slow for streams in rural areas. you, Sully. Smokeless fire pit. I don't want any donations, but thank you. I don't want to get any. Oh, right there off the expressway, James. See you surviving Kensington, you loser. Don't come back. Get lost, loser. Oh, really, Tim? 160 acres is nothing. I mean, I'm not glad it happened, but that place catches on fire all the time. I think Tommy D could be bad, but I'm not sure of that. Be vigilant in your search for detractors, stalkers, people telling lies. Please be vigilant. Oh, it's Tommy D. Yeah, I don't really can't say for sure one way or the other. Beef jerky. I don't really like beef jerky that much. Now, as we come up here, you're going to see a farm on the left that's abandoned. I'll tell you when we get to it. I want to show it to you. Because there's a point to this story. See this old barn right here? The trees, you'll see it up here. Right there. You know, I took pictures of that a long time ago, and there was no signs, nothing. You know, that fucker went and put some no trespassing signs and wrote a big letter to YouTube that I invaded his privacy and that I was in there without permission. He really went out of his way to try and fuck me up with YouTube. And they told him to pound sand. If you're watching out there, go to hell. You were unsuccessful in trying to wreck me. That's nothing but a junk pile. I wouldn't go back even if I could. Don't flatter yourself. It's a dump. Yeah, go to hell if you're watching, loser. He said he was going to get me charged to the fullest extent of the law. Yeah. You're not going to do anything. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Yeah, it's a couple years ago. I mean, this guy went to a lot of extra trouble. You know, over nothing. Standish, Michigan. Yeah, no, that's how it is, man. I'm telling you. I tell people, these people are crazy on YouTube. I mean, most are nice, but there's some real wackos. But I'm not getting to meet anybody anymore, so it doesn't matter. If I don't know you by now, it's not happening. You could send me a photo of the most beautiful woman in the world. She could say I'm going to be passing through West Branch. Not happening. No way. Not doing it. It's peace of mind. This last deal a week or so ago from this Indiana lunatic, that was the final straw. You summed it up perfectly, Murray. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. You're not kidding. It went from, threats on the internet to showing up. Nope, game over. I'm out. They have the greatest fairs down here, summer fairs. The one we have is no alcohol. Not that that's anything you can hang your hat on, but it just goes to show you they want to keep it a nice, trouble-free function. You know Jimmy, Jimmy Perkins in Glasgow, Kentucky, the guy that I interviewed with the diesel truck? I don't think this was on video, but we were talking about alcohol. I think moonshine. And I made some comment like, is it any good? He said, I'm going to tell you something, Tom. He's a bright guy, maybe uneducated, but really intelligent guy. He said, I'm going to tell you something, Tom. Nothing ever comes from alcohol that's good. Now look, I was there just to have a good time. So I wasn't going to insult Jimmy after he was nice enough to start up his diesel truck and give me a tour of his garage. But I wanted to say to Jimmy, you're full of shit. I would have had only about half the sex I've had in my life if it wasn't for alcohol. But I kept my mouth shut. But I knew what Jimmy was getting at. He was thinking of accidents, failed relationships, drunk driving tickets. I'm sure if it wasn't for alcohol, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. Neither, and my sister wouldn't be alive. Once again, silver lining. $3.19 for gas. Go to hell. You are gotta be shitting me. This McDonald's just got totally rebuilt. $2.3 million. Looks like a shoebox. There's a fruit stand up here. I'm going to show you right here. Not the big one that I go to yesterday, but there's another one right here. Let me show you right here. I want to tell you something about this. It may be out of business now. I think it's up here with this little awning. I'm going to tell you something about this. Yeah, right here, this fruit market right here with a little B&B right here. So this guy and his wife, yeah, right there, B&B. This guy and his wife are, it's not a fruit market anymore, now it's just something else. But anyway, a few years ago, him and his wife were down in Florida. I think it was around Tampa. You know, you're getting out of the winter. Some people don't like winter, I do. But they drove down to Florida for a couple-week vacation. He's pumping gas in Tampa, and a guy comes over and robs him and shoots him in the head and kills him. And here they just left this little nice farming community to get away for a nice vacation. And what'd she end up doing? Driving herself back? I mean, it's just a nightmare that came true. Sad. Shows you how any day, any second, your life can change. That is really tragic. Hey, how you doing? This is a good fruit market right here, Jay's. Yeah, I know. I mean, just think of the wife's down there, your husband gets shot, you witness the whole thing. He gets rushed off in an ambulance, you're just stuck at the gas station. All of a sudden you get a ride to the hospital, your husband's in intensive care, then they come out and tell you that he's died. You're down there by yourself, you're on vacation. I mean, what do? You gotta go back home. You're down there with your car. What the hell? You talk about a bad scenario. Fresh fruit. Oh, you better believe it. I got a lot of feelings. If I win, I'm happy, and if I don't, well, I'm paying them back for all my ancestors stealing all their land. Not really, though, because my ancestors are from Ireland. I didn't have anything to do with that. I want to show you something up here too, Mary, that interests you. Now, there's two schools of thoughts on the Native Americans here. Some people love them, and some people think they're a bunch of shitbags that are buying up everything and controlling the economy. And I'm going to give you an example up here. Yeah, I want to show you something up here, Mary. The Native Americans own this gas station. Good for them. I'd like to see a big sign up there. Gas, $3.08 a gallon. White guy, $4.08 a gallon. Help pay him back. Dine in comfort. And I want to show you something up here, Mary. Pay attention. This is a nice area back here, farming. It's part of going to this casino. This is like this. Today will be the second. I went here yesterday, and I came here today, but I haven't been here 5 times in 10 years. I just felt like doing it today. And I want to show you something up here. There's a lot of bald eagles flying around in here. Isn't that something? The one casino, Soaring Eagle, and there's eagles flying around one of their locations. It doesn't get any better than that. Tomatoes, pickles. Look at this beautiful country. That's corn right there. Wild rice. I wouldn't know it if I saw it. Right down here at this intersection, a little baby fawn got cut in half yesterday. A guy hit it with his pickup, and a cop was absolutely nice enough to remove the body. I saw him doing it. Really was sad looking. You see this house up here? Right here? Now, I was just told this today. This house right here. It could be false, but I don't think it is. But you see this house right here? Yeah, sugar beets are usually a little further south. Right here, see this house? The Native Americans don't own this. I was told they did. This fucker's got a beef with the Native Americans right here. This place is for sale. And he puts up signs and stuff that the cowboys kick the Indians' ass right outside of the casino. What a weirdo, man. He's always putting big signs like that out in the yard. This guy's really got a beef with the Native Americans. Sounds like he probably didn't do too well in the slot machines. This hotel or motel, whatever you call it, is new. I say good for the Native Americans. I'm glad they're doing well. I'm supposedly half Irish and half Scottish. I believe that's true. But I think my opinion, which of course isn't worth shit, I think they've made these areas way nicer. A lot nicer. And I don't think I'm going to get kicked out like a couple friends of mine did because I hardly ever win. So I'm exactly what they're looking for. There's a guy coming out yesterday. I said, "You clean him out?" He said, "Believe me, I left plenty of money for you." Look how many people are here in daylight. It's not even tourist season yet. A lot of people come down here in campers. It's a nice place. Always park way out in the back. I haven't got my family physician to give me a fake handicap parking permit. I would never do something like that. I think people that do that really have deep-rooted psychiatric issues. You're getting your doctor contacts to lie so you can park closer to the casino entrance. There's something wrong with you. It's Soaring Eagle's other location. Honestly, I don't know what they call this one. I don't know what the name of this one is. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's a name. Somebody said it on the way down here. I always like parking way out in the back myself. Gives me a sense of freedom. I don't want anybody stealing the Astro van. There's nothing to take. I didn't bring anything with me. My college degree is paying off today. I'm not parking facing the sun. How do you like that for the value of an education? I'm parking so the sun's behind me and the van's not going to get hotter. You tell me going to college isn't worth something. I'm going to take a Polish shower, spray a little cologne on. Yep, selfish, lazy. Yep, you're all do it. Yep. Yeah, this is normal. It's like this all the time. It's busy as hell. This is a weekday. Not vacationers. Not a lot of them up here yet. Still early. It's crazy. You know, it's funny you should say that because when I pulled in here yesterday, you know, I'm a guy that like runs out of things to do. It's a lot cooler down here, by the way. I'm only 24 miles south. Well, actually, I'm about 30 southeast of West Branch. But I thought that when I pulled in here, so, you know, I'm always bored looking for things to do. And when I pulled in here yesterday, that's the first thing that occurred to me is that I'm not the only guy. And that's why this parking lot is full. Once you've been in every aisle at Walmart and you bought all sorts of shit you didn't need, and you've got every magazine subscription in the world, and you got every gadget and camera and video recorder, and obviously a phone recorder, you run out of things to do. And this is a distraction and a fun thing to do that's possible. This is a rural community. There are bigger casinos within driving distance in Traverse City and Mount Pleasant. But yet this place is packed. So evidently, you know, birds of a feather. Ducks fly with ducks. Hey, Graphic. Yeah, that's how I am. I get a lot of hobbies. You know, nobody ever comes on and talks about the benefits and the pluses to ADHD, but I do. It's made me learn a lot, not in depth, but stuff I wouldn't have learned if I'd have just dedicated myself to. I mean, I love watching these lectures by neurosurgeons and medical specialists, heart surgeons and stuff, but a lot of these guys, if you talk to them, they don't know a whole hell of a lot of life outside of their profession because it's just so demanding time-wise. They wait till they're retired, which in my opinion is too late. If you've got $10 billion in the bank and you're 65 and you just start to experience these things you thought you'd wait for, it's not the same as being young and doing it. Another silver lining. That's exactly right. Yeah, true. Yeah, those riverboat casinos. Did you look that one up that sunk that I was telling you about, Simca, a while back? That's how my dad was. Save, save, save. Just super cheap scotch guy.
It wasn't too bad.
Look at all these spots, and this guy parks right next to me.
All right.
I didn't know the name of it, but if you Google gambling ship sinks off the east coast of Florida trying to avoid a hurricane, you'll find it. Yep. I mean, it may be boring to you. Don't waste any time on it, but I remember that happening. And they never found any of the crew. That's another thing, the Bermuda Triangle. You tend to think you get out there, and it's like, why don't they find these people? I'll tell you why. Because of the distance. And they sink under the water. It's no big mystery. If you look at the square miles of the Bermuda Triangle, it's not like it's a... If you told me the Bermuda Triangle was a mile square and I knew all these shit had come up missing that tried to go through it, I wouldn't get within 10 miles of that place. I'd take your word for it. But when you look at the vastness of the square miles of what's considered the Bermuda, it's shit, man. It could be anything. It could be a big giant pile of cotton. shit comes up missing. It's a huge area. It's not scary anymore when you realize how big it is. Yeah, deep too. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I love Tassie. Yeah, she's great. Her boyfriend's not, but she is. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to hit it big because I don't gamble big. These smaller casinos, whether they're Native American or not, you know, when you see somebody's photo on the wall because they hit for 1,200, that's not a very good sign. This is more of an entertainment than it is even standing a remote possibility of hitting it big. I mean, I don't think, you know, I don't know what the all-time pot is down here, but I bet it's pretty low. Look at this old car over there. You come down here and you think you're at a car show. You look around the parking lot, it's cars in the 60s, 70s. It's not a car show. That's what people drive. That's their primary mode of transportation, a vehicle from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Yeah, that's kind of how I do, yeah. Oh, thank you. It is a fun feeling. That's what I'm in, for the feeling. It's not time or dollar amount. So the minute my credits get up higher than what I put in, I'm gone. Like yesterday. And like last week. I may be in only there 1 minute. But once I've lost 100, I'm out of there. And once my credits get past 100, it can even be a quarter, I'm leaving. Because the excitement of winning kind of morphs into a down stage of depression as your credits go down and you're hitting your limit and you haven't won. And it's like, fuck. So I want this to be a fun experience, unrelated to the dollar amount and the time I've spent here. And a low amount, anything plus can do that for me. It's a mind game. Yep. Oh, Windsor. Yeah, I like Windsor. Ancient pictographs? Really? I'll tell you a funny thing that happened. This was a long time ago, like maybe 20 years ago or something like that. It was a real long time ago. You know, I was always collecting photographs and negatives and transparencies and stuff, and I ran across a guy that just had a shit ton of Chippewa early photographs from like the 1880s, 90s, early 1900s, a bunch of them, like a couple thousand. He didn't want that much money for them. You know, like $5,000 or something. He had negatives and he had the printed photographs. And I contacted these Chippewa people and said, hey, I know this guy is selling this stuff. He was in Nashville, Tennessee. You guys might want to buy it. I mean, they have, you know, more money. They know what to do with it. You know, they were uninterested. But yet when I go in this casino, you'll see a bunch of like cheap photocopies of Chippewa Indians in the early days in frames on the wall, and it just didn't make any sense to me. I couldn't believe they didn't want those. I would have thought they would have been all over it. Oh, really, Michelle? No kidding. Yeah. Well, I'm going to sign off for you guys. I'm going to take my phone today so I can document my winning or my losing. I usually leave it in the car. So I hope you guys have a good day today. Thanks for coming to the chat. Welcome new moderators. And I thank the current moderators for shooting these people out of the water as they come on to try and take our fun away. To the bulging, blue-eyed Roy Orbison looking like in Flint. To the 2-ton toothless Tessie in Texas. And to Miss Piggy in Chattanooga. I even wish you monsters a good day. I'm ready to be a Christian. So take care, everybody. Oh, look here, I will. Yeah, thank you. See ya, Mia. See ya, Tim. Yeah, bye, Cheryl. Yeah, you're welcome. You deserve it. See ya, Jackie. Sorry to see your cryptocurrency do what it's doing. I can always tell when it's down. I don't get all the texts from the people that told me I was making a mistake by not buying it. Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, thank you. No problem, Mary. Glad to help. I win either way. It's either a new skyscraper for them. It's the least I can do. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. Yeah, okay, Shannon. Thank you. Thanks for sticking up for me. All right, Graphic. Yep, take care. See you, Mia. Goodbye, Kim.